And thank you for joining us at Getting to Know the State Library of Florida Services for State Agency Employees. And now I am going to turn it over to the presenters.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our presentation, Getting to Know the State Library of Florida. Today, we'll discuss the distinctive and invaluable features that make the State Library of Florida a crucial resource for state employees, academics, scholars, citizen researchers, librarians, and anyone else with an interest in Florida. I'm Talisha Harrison, and I'm the Florida Collection and Outreach Librarian for the State Library. I curate and oversee the Florida Special Collection in addition to providing reference support and creating content and participating in outreach initiatives to promote our valuable resources to both state employees and the public.
And I'm Josie Schrader-Malefatto. I am our electronic resources librarian. So I administer our catalog and databases, which I'll be talking about later, record our usage statistics, and like Talisha, I serve on the reference desk.
There's so much to see and learn about Florida from the State Library, so here's what we'll cover today. First, we'll discuss the origins and purpose of the State Library, as well as the State Library's role in preserving Florida history and making it available to the public, both in physical and digital formats. Next, we'll discuss our collections and then go into how to get a library card and how to access all the services and resources that we provide to you and how you can access them from your office, home, or anywhere. Next slide, please. Let's begin with the library's history. The State Library was designated by state law when Florida became a state in 1845. 80 years later, in 1925, the modern form of the library emerged with the establishment of the State Library as its own entity. 2 years later, in 1927, William T. Cash, that's the gentleman you see on the left there on the slide, became the first official state librarian. Since that time, more changes have occurred. Originally located in the old Capitol, the library then moved to the basement of the Supreme Court, as you can see in the middle picture on the slide. Then in the 1970s, the R. Gray building was built across the street from the Supreme Court, and this has been our main home ever since. While we have a smaller Capitol branch that remains on the 7th floor of the current Capitol building. Next slide, please. Though there wasn't an organized state library until the 1920s, parts of the collection go back much further. For example, we have every edition of the Laws of Florida going back to 1822, the first meeting of the legislature after Florida territory became part of the United States, and a full 20 years before statehood. Some other items in our Florida collection date back even further to the Spanish and British colonial periods. What you see on the slide here is the actual 1845 state law, which created the state library. On the left at the bottom of the page, 34, chapter 13, it states, an act respecting the books and maps belonging to the state. This is the act establishing the library. Next slide, please. Here on this slide is the 1925 law that established the state library's modern form, led by a state librarian. Aside from moving several times, the library has gone through several more administrative changes since it was founded. Due to a governmental reorganization in 1968, the state library is now within the Department of State. As our collection has grown, we have remained committed to doing our very best to preserve our state's multifaceted history. Next slide, please. The library has twin missions. We serve as an information provider to Florida state government agencies, including the Florida legislature. We have a group of services that we provide specifically and exclusively to you as state employees that we will discuss a bit later in the webinar. The neat thing about these services is that you do not have to come to Tallahassee to use them. We bring the library to you. Our services are available statewide right from your office. In fact, a large percentage of our patrons never have to visit us at all because many of our collections are available online, and if not, can either be mailed or digitized. Our second mission is to collect, preserve, and make available Florida's published history to researchers and the public. Our collections include a variety of types of materials in many different formats that will be discussed in the next few slides. So now let's look at each of our main collections. Next slide, please. One of the biggest and most unique parts of our collections is our state publications. These are the documents and other media produced by the state government for such purposes as public outreach, official reporting, etc. This is distinct from the public records created as part of internal day-to-day business, which are either held in the state archives or more often by agencies themselves. Our items in this collection go back to the acts of the territorial legislature in the 1820s, right after the U.S. took control of Florida from Spain, all the way forward to, in some cases, this very week. The purpose of our state publications program is to preserve and maintain access to these publications, in some cases long after the agency that created them no longer exists, which is the reason why there is a requirement in the Florida statutes and administrative code that all state agencies provide the library with copies of anything they publish, though the number of copies depend on the total number produced. Agencies also use our collection to look at their own older public documents, and our collection is also used by the public and historical researchers. In 1967, State Documents Depository Program was established by law. This law requires that all agencies that produce public documents must send those documents to the state library. In turn, we place them in depositories throughout the state. This program makes state documents from all agencies readily available to Floridians in a cost-effective manner. This also means that agencies themselves don't have to worry about storing extras. You can just send any copies our way and we'll distribute them across the state as part of the program. There's a network of libraries across the state that make state publications available in person to their patrons. The purpose of the depository network is to ensure that government information is accessible regardless of where you are in the state. This also applies to Born Digital eDocs. We go out and download these from state websites and have a special tool to enable agencies to upload very large files to us. We then put their documents onto a backup archive server so that they can stay online through numerous website changes. And if your agency wants to just link to us, you can even save yourself the bandwidth and server space. Next slide, please. The State Library has been required to accept and maintain reports from entities who are required by law to create those reports. This includes compiling a list of statutorily required reports and posting it to our website. You can find more information on our new webpage, Reports Required by Florida Statute, through the link you see here, which includes a list of required reports by statute and a tutorial on submitting your reports. We also have a new searchable repository for these reports. As of April 15, 2024, we began to compile a bibliography of reports received in the prior 3 months, which are available online and distributed to the Governor, the President of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Next slide, please. The next collection I'll discuss is the Florida Special Collection. This collection is a comprehensive one and is one of the largest collections of published material from and about Florida in the world. There are more than 60,000 items spanning the 5 centuries since European contact. While some of our materials are available both on-site and off, materials in the Florida collection are limited to on-site use due to many of the items being rare and irreplaceable. The collection includes a lot more types of materials than you might expect. Aside from books and magazines, we have maps, many of them more than 100 years old, local government planning documents, and city directories spanning nearly a century. We also have more than 20,000 rolls of microfilm newspapers, including full runs of major Florida papers such as the St. Petersburg/Tampa Bay Times and the Florida Times-Union. Lastly, a huge part of the collection are the odds and ends that we in the library world call ephemera. Ephemera can be tourism brochures from across the state, campaign mailers and other political ads going back to the 19th century, postcards, and all sorts of posters and flyers from public health alerts to business announcements. The library has hundreds, if not thousands, of items in our ephemera collection. Even though the Florida Special Collection is non-circulating, we have lots of online resources to guide you in researching within it that you can access from anywhere, which will be shown to you a bit later in the webinar. New items for the Florida collection are largely works of published history. In many cases, these secondary sources were written with research assistance from our librarians and archivists. We also have some Florida-themed fiction titles available, as that is also an important part of the culture of the state. Part of our online resources are also include overviews of different historical and cultural topics. Some of these are among the most popular resources on our entire website. Each one will list books and other resources, including many found online that provide in-depth information on that topic drawn from our collections, those of the state archives, and more. Next slide, please. In 1929, Congress designated the library to be a federal documents depository. This means that we have a lot of documents from the federal government, about 1/4 of all federal publications. We mostly focus on only collecting federal documents that are of direct importance to Florida. These materials deal with issues such as public health, the environment, immigration, things that affect our jobs and lives on a daily basis. Many documents arrive in electronic format and are linked directly within our catalog, but there's still a lot of historical documents that haven't yet been digitized. Materials can be checked out for 7 days and range from documents such as congressional transcripts to a NASA-produced jigsaw puzzle of the moon. Next slide, please. Some books in the Florida collection are also found and available to check out in our circulating collection. You check them out from the state library just like any other library. While we focus on acquiring new books to serve the needs of state agency employees specifically, anyone can apply for a library card, online or in person, and borrow books from our collection. We have separate online library card registration forms for state employees, Florida residents, and library staff. The State Library is open to visitors from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday for both state employees and general patrons. So if you are in Tallahassee and you'd like to visit, please do so. Next slide, please. Another way we're working on making Florida's history and heritage available is by digitizing materials. We've scanned and uploaded online materials to the Internet Archive website, providing easy access to the library's collection of historical state publications, public domain ebooks, and more. We've been retroactively scanning many of our print state publications, including the entire laws of Florida, as well as several public domain items such as antique books and ephemera. This serves a dual purpose. It makes them available online for free, anywhere and anytime, which saves both you and us a lot of effort. And it also means that once it's been scanned, we rarely need to handle the often very old and fragile original copies. Next slide, please. The final collection we'll discuss is Florida Memory. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this collection as it's the Division of Library and Information Services public history site. Florida Memory is run by a special team within the state archives, but it is a joint project of both the state archives and the state library, and features digitized items and historical information from both of our collections. Many of the library materials on Florida Memory come out of the Florida Special Collection and primarily include 4 types of items: political, tourism-based, Great Depression-era works, progress administration records, and maps. While Florida Memory only has a small fraction of our maps online, These maps provide much higher resolution, zoomable scans that allow you to look at them in close detail right from your computer. We have a wide variety of maps from city, county, and state maps to special locales and geographic features and bird-eye views. You can browse them online. For the ones that aren't online, you can search in our catalog and request copies. Florida Memory also holds a collection of broadsides, things like posters, notices, and single-page ads and brochures, which also come from the library's ephemera collection. While these materials might seem disposable, as I mentioned earlier, we collect and preserve them as they document culture and provide historical information about events. Now I'll pass it off to my colleague, Josie, to give you more information on some of our online resources.
Thanks, Talisha. So now that you know a little more about who we are and what we have, let's discuss what we can do for you. Next slide, please. From here, I'll walk you through getting a library card, searching the catalog, and accessing our materials. Your starting place for all of this is our Services for State Employees page, which you can reach via the link on our homepage or by going to info.florida.gov/state-employees. Next slide, please. Now, I may ask, how many of you have a library card with us? You can answer in the chat. Oh, quite a lot. Nice. If you don't have a card with us already, you can get a card by going to the Get a Library Card link on our homepage. And as state employees, you're entitled to a special card type that gives you access not only to our circulating collection, but also to many online resources and book delivery to your office. To apply, simply enter your work email to confirm that you are a state employee, click submit, and fill out the form. We will then email you your card number. Cards expire after 1 year, after which you'll need to apply for a renewal, but the process is the same. Just select Update/Renew Card when reapplying, and we'll update your existing account with any changes you've made. Now, I'm going to take you live to look at our library catalog by sharing my screen here. All right, so this is our catalog, which you can get to by going to library.florida.gov. From here, you can search all of our collections. So all the ones that Talisha just talked about, Florida collections, state publications, federal, genealogy, maps, photos, all of it. You can search by author, title, subject, or just keyword. And we also have an advanced search that you can use by clicking on search options and advanced search. This lets you search for multiple terms, exclude items, etc. Once you've started to search, you can also select from what we call facets to narrow your search. So let's try a search, just a generic search. And you can see here, there's location, author, subject, material type, etc. And if in the case of reports required by statute, you can also narrow it by who its designated recipient is, where it was submitted, and what statute required it. You can also use the catalog to search through articles through our online databases and through open access publications across the web with a new feature called CloudSource Plus. Simply click over to the Online Articles tab in your search results. So right here, or select Online Articles from the search box. This tool helps surface open access articles as well that may be missed by general search engines and databases, along with articles from JSTOR or Gale databases, which I'll talk to you more about in a minute, and it can help speed up your research. Another thing we have in our catalog are the state agency information portals. And these are also called subject guides. These are resources tailored to the needs of specific agencies. On these pages, you can find links for getting started in your research on this subject, with key resources that let you dig a little deeper, with links to databases, reports, ebooks, and more. So like, let's take a look at education. This is they all kind of look like this. You've got key resources on one side and basic resources on the other, including a research guide that compiles things from our collections. And you can get to this from either these pages or from the Services for State Employees page. Oops, looks like I got a couple errors. Sorry about that. I had this up earlier. Oh, that one was up earlier. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. Also available through both the catalog and that Services for State Employees page is our table of contents service. This gives you remote access to our print periodical subscriptions. So you simply sign up and select the articles select the magazines and journals that interest you, and we'll email you the table of contents for each issue as we get it. Then you just reply with the articles you want, and we'll send them to you for free of charge. Now let's have a look at how things get done from other libraries through the state library. So that's right, the state library will get books or articles from you from other libraries and deliver them to you just like our own materials. If you need something we don't have, you can search for it through a statewide library network called Flynn Share It, which you can access here. Simply log in with your state library card and search in libraries all over the state with one interface. Then you can request the book you want from another library and we'll deliver it to you. It's very easy and I've used this service myself. We also, if you go back to that request materials page, have an article request form that you can use to request articles from journals that we don't subscribe to. So just like with Flynn Share It, we will get it for you from another library and send it right to your email. And you can get to both of these pages as well as a backup book request form from that Services for Student Employees page. Also from this page, you can get to our databases portal right here. We have several research databases you can search in for articles, book chapters, and more. Some of these are included in that online article search I showed you earlier, but you can also search them individually. These include what you see here, JSTOR, Gale, etc. And if you can't find what you want in our databases, hopefully we'll be able to provide more of these for you in the future. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can always use our article request form. With that, I'd like to go back to the slides.
Okay, if you could please stop sharing your screen and then I'll jump back on. Thank you.
Okay, so in addition to all of the resources I've showed you already, we have a collection of ebooks that you can access with your state library card. We focus our ebook collection on the same things as our print collection. That is, we order books to help you with your jobs, as long as books about Florida. You can access our ebooks either from the catalog, via the e-resources portal through a link, or using the Cloud Library app on your mobile device. All you need is your state library card. And if you ever have any questions about ebooks, please feel free to contact us by phone or email. Next slide. If you need help with searching the catalog, ordering books, using our services, etc., or want to look back at this or other webinars, you can find all of that on our webinars and tutorials page or our YouTube channel, which you can reach at this link. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, the State Library is here for you as state employees. If you ever need research help or want to use our resources and need assistance, do not hesitate to contact us. Remember, if you work for the state, we work for you. And with that, we'll wrap up. Next slide, please. All right, does anyone have any questions? We'll stay in the webinar a few minutes longer and take any questions you might have. Let me check the chat. Can you please show me step by step how to navigate to the Tallahassee Democrat online? Okay. Let me just a second. Can I share my screen again? All right. So this is our Newsbank database. This is where we get to this is where we have our collection of newspaper databases. Or excuse me, this is our newspaper database for current newspapers. If is the Tallahassee Democrat still available? Is the question. I think we may have had to recently cancel the database that leads to the Tallahassee Democrat. So we can still get articles from it for you if you request them, but we don't have full database access to it anymore. Oh, how did I got to that? Thanks, Kathy. Sorry. We got to this page from this going to the State Library e-resources page, which you get to by clicking search our databases on our services for state employees page. And then I went to databases by subject, news, and Newsbank. Do we have any other questions? Oh, Cloud Library is the mobile device app. Cloud Library. It's pretty new for us, but we've got a few hundred ebooks on there at the moment, and are getting more all the
Hi,
time.
can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was just wondering, if we retire, do we still have access to this as retired state employees, or does it stop when we are no longer an active state employee?
So for retired state employees, if you're no longer active, you can still access our print collection, but you would only have the same access as a regular resident. So we wouldn't provide the database access or ebooks or the interlibrary loan services. You would need to go through your public library for ILL, interlibrary loan. If you want to borrow books from a different library, including from us, actually, if you're not. It said, also, I've requested my PIN be reset a couple times over the last year, but they didn't receive a response to the reset. It's possible your email address is being blocked. What I would suggest you do is call us at 850-245-6680 to reset your PIN for you, and if you don't get a response to that. Any other questions? It's in the chat. It's 850-245-6680. Let me actually stop sharing my screen. And can we go back to the slides, Rebecca? To the second to last one? One after that? There we go. There's all our contact information. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer in case there are any more questions, but we will wrap up soon.
Josie, I have a semi-tangential question.
Sure.
What are some of the things that people have come to the library to research?
Ooh. Um, we get all sorts of questions from all sorts of people. One
I figured.
one of our one of the more interesting things we get is people from like either DEP or environmental consulting agencies that are like that need are looking for sources of pollution, and we have a collection of city directories which show which businesses were located at which addresses at different points in time, and so those are used for that. They're also pretty widely used for genealogy. We get a lot of family history researchers. uh, we um, we do a lot of various Florida history questions. I have state employees looking for like some obscure Senate report from like 1979 or whatever. So we have that in our state publications collection, and we can scan those for you. Um, we it's really kind of uh, uh, all over the place, but focused on Florida, as you might expect. What's some more interesting questions you've answered, Talisha? That's fine if you don't have an answer.
Uh, People ask, um, they ask questions about like how they can be a Florida resident. Just it's various things.
Okay, so hi, I was wondering if there are scanners that we can access for scanning books. I have a few resources I would like to share with my grantees, but they are in printed form. Um, as our scanning equipment is pretty much just for Division of Library and Information Services employees, but we do have microfilm scanners in the lobby, and like a flatbed scanner on our copier that you can use. But like the big scanner, like you saw on the slide, that's for just our staff.
Is there a charge for copies?
It's free for the first 10 pages and then 15 cents a page after that. Actually, for
And
state employees, it's free.
and if I drive there in person, can I get free parking validation or anything?
Yes, it's $5 if you don't get a token from us, but as soon as you come upstairs, one of the first things we'll do is ask if you need a parking token, and you can sign for it, and we'll give it to you, and it'll let you out of the garage free.
And are you closed for lunch?
No, we're open 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and through lunch.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, that seems to be it. Let's wrap up unless you've got anything else to add, Talisha.
Nope.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your time. I hope you can come to use our resources and appreciate them. And we'll see you soon online or in person.